We used to travel in a 15-seater van everywhere with a trailer on the back. I mean, how we did that for as long as we did is beyond me.
Hundreds of days out there in the van, and I never heard a complaint from any of them because they were never around to complain. You know, they were always on the road.
I'm glad I'm out of the van, dude. I'm glad I'm in a bus. You know, that was a great step, and I'm very happy with that.
We're now at the beginning of the middle of our tour, so the end of the beginning, or the beginning of the middle. Yes, that's what it is. The beginning of the middle of our tour that ends in December. Started in, I don't remember when it started, a couple years ago.
We just did 2 months on the Warped Tour. Didn't have a day off, flew over here, started this tour. We're gonna have 5 days off. And then we start the fall tour for 6 weeks to America. Then we have another 5 days off, and then we come back to Europe and do another tour over here.
Within a Mile of Home is a song that it rings lots of bells with me, you know, just because it seems like I'm always we're always playing, and I'm almost like, yeah, when are you gonna be home at? When are you gonna be home at? When are you gonna be home at? Well, I'm working on it, you know. I'll be home, and you know, within a Mile of Home is kind of a metaphor, you know what I mean? Like, it's just a metaphor for a million different things, but for me, it's just that, you know, I love what I do, but I'm working, and at some time I'll see my wife, my kid, you know, and so. I'm within even if I'm in friggin' Spain, I'm within a mile of home sometimes, you know?
Yeah, being on tour, it's definitely it's an extreme lifestyle, you know?
It just doesn't feel like any time off.
We've been on tour so much, I haven't been able to make the transition of unpacking, so I live out of my suitcase. I don't know, I don't feel the need to unpack it. I always feel like I'm gonna be leaving again, you know?
Well, the only reason why we do it is because of the live show. I mean, I'm not gonna fucking come out on tour and sit in a bus for fucking 12 hours a day and do nothing. There obviously has to be the purpose, and the purpose is the show. And that's what the whole day is built around.
What I generally do on a day of touring is wake up,
Find a place to go to the bathroom,
I like to get to that first before it gets destroyed.
find a water,
make a cup of tea, get something to eat.
If we're not playing some festival in the middle of a field and we're actually in a city,
I just go, just walk.
and have a little wander and a look around. Yeah, then sound check, and then
Start drinking, start hanging out, and that's it, man. Then you're at the show, you start getting the vibe, you start feeling it, and next thing you know, it's time to go on. And you play your show, and that's it. That's the middle of my day. After that, hang out, have a good time, get drunk enough to pass out, and then wake up the next day and do the same thing all over again. Slight variations.
Living on the road is, you just travel so hard. You're 100, you know, you're 500 miles away from where you were the night before every day, and you feel like a goddamn, you know, nomad. It's just there's no rhyme or reason to it.
That sense of motion gets to you sometimes because it wears you down every day. waking up in a different place. Well, as many good things as there are about it, sometimes it gets to you.
If there's one thing... To be constantly moving all the time is a very strange experience. Dreams I once had now lay in bed.
No, you just get used to it, I guess. You don't really think about it. You get comfortable in uncomfortable situations as fast as possible. You know what I mean?
Since yesterday.
I don't like living in filth, and a lot of the times on the road, I am forced to live in filth, and I will never get used to it.
But the joys of touring.
You're on your 6th month of pretty much touring straight. You've only had maybe a couple days off here and there. And say you pull into Chicago, and there's your old friends that you want to let's fucking go, because they know when you come to town it's time to go. And it's like, yeah, it's your friends, it's life, you want to live it to the fullest, so you go. And then the next night you do the same thing, because you're in Minneapolis and you run into your homeboys there, and the next night you're in New York, yeah. Then you're in Boston, let's go. You know, just night after night after night, just going full blast. It's probably not, you know, I probably won't live to be 105.
You can't see the demons, tell the demons come crawling for you. You're deaf to them screaming, to the standing right behind you. Like a flame glowing, to the growing all around you. Lonely things creeping, to the creeping into you. You're miles from tomorrow. The fire's reached starboard. On the queen has revenge. Skull and bones at the server's head. Dancing with the madmen. On the queen has revenge. On the queen has revenge. Skull and bones at the server's head. Dancing with the madmen. On the queen has revenge. Have a collar with your demons and queens. Have a collar with your demons and queens. Have a collar with your demons and queens.
Fucking tired, man. Missing my family. It's kind of all dawning on me how fucking long we're gonna be out touring still, you know? So. Oh, we just ran out of hot water. That rocks. Hardest part about traveling is being away from your family. That's it. Especially once you start having children. That's the hardest part.
That kind of gets me. So I deal with it the best I can. And I don't know, you know, from day to day it changes. Play pool, find places like this to hang out in for hours on end. Because there's parts of me that just, you know, want to go home and be with my kid, you know?
I mean, I see what Matt goes through. Dennis and his wife are having a baby. Do you know what I mean? It's, Nathan and his wife had a baby. It's hard on that person to leave because there's parts of those kids' lives that you're missing.
That's Sophie.
I don't know if you know that movie On Any Sunday. That movie was shot over the course of, I think, a year or year and a half prior to my dad dying. So he died in 72, and I think they shot that in 70 and 71, and it came out in 71 or something. So it was amazing when I went back and saw it for the first time, and I looked at it and go, wait a minute, I remember those guys. I saw them at the track, you know, hanging out the pits with your dad, and your dad's, you know, out there racing with those guys. It's like, man, that's amazing, you know what I mean? That's one movie I always bring with me. I watch at least one time when we're on the road. From both my brother, Gary, who manages the band, and myself, I would say he was definitely our hero growing up. He was a professional motorcycle racer, died on the track. It was tragic, unbelievable. He was a flat tracker. He raced on dirt, on half miles. He did what he wanted to do, and I had more respect for him because of that than as opposed to, well, I'm married now, I have kids, I'm not going to race motorcycles. It meant a lot to us, you know, to see him continue to do what he dreamed of doing.
Feel the words from my lips to your heart's fingertip, then you know where I come from. 'Cause I know, yes I know, everything there is to know, 'cause I lost everything I had.
The band has become kind of what my dad did. You're setting up your drums, you know, during the day and tearing them down at night. It's like, you know, you pull into a pit, you gear up your bike, you know what I mean, you get ready to race, and you race, you do your thing, and then you come back, tear it down, and go on to the next one. You go do your thing, you do what you love to do, and then you come back home.
There's no need for tears, 'cause there's no need to cry.
I'm blessed to be able to make ends meet the way that I can and do something I believe in. And the sacrifice is that I miss out on a lot of the things at home with my family. I think it weighs out. My heart tells me it does. I can look at my daughter and tell her with full integrity that I believe in what I do, and I believe that she does too.
In a lot of ways, it's very similar, you know, and it never occurred to me until later on, like, wait a minute, this is kind of like, you know, you show up and you've recreated this life that you were living as a child, you know, it's pretty amazing.